I've always worked out very heavily because obviously the diet is the hardest part.
So there's a clear end point, whereas with fitness, like there's no end point.
You have to take food with you everywhere you go. Like there is no good diet. So try to eat single ingredient foods.
A lot of processed foods are designed to make you want more.
Literally, I was out there for over a day, no sleep, ran through the night. The Ironman was very hard with training.
Welcome to the Willpower Podcast. All right. So, Murphy, tell me what are your top obligations in life? And then let's also talk about like whether they were a choice, like you chose to take on an obligation, or they were like decided or kind of imposed on you.
So in life in general, or more specifically fitness related?
Let's say, but like everything. We'll start with all encompassing.
Okay. So an obligation to me kind of goes hand in hand with a priority in a way. So to me, I mean, my priorities in life were God first and foremost, my wife second. I don't have kids yet, so I can't put that one in there. But then family, and obviously my health. My health was a big one. So that's why we're speaking with you today. Kind of more fitness related things. So yeah, that's kind of like I have a hierarchy. I've done a podcast episode about this. I have a hierarchy of priorities or relationships in life, and it goes God, spouse, kids if you have kids, and then family and friends. And then I would put myself on the same pedestal, on the same level as my spouse. So level 2, because I think taking care of yourself is just as important. You have to have it. You can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to pour into yourself. I always say taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's selfless. Because if you can't take care of yourself, how can you expect to take care of other people? If you have kids, if you're a parent, or if you have a spouse, like how can you show up for them 100% if you're not even showing up for yourself? So that would be kind of my obligation. And I put fitness/health right there on that same pedestal as self. Because to me, in my opinion, taking care of myself is taking care of my health. And how do I take care of my health? Me personally, I pursue fitness because I like fitness. That's just me. Other people taking care of their health may look different. But for me, it's more fitness related, weightlifting, running, exercising, things like that. I know there's a lot of other forms of health like, medicine, getting biohacking stuff. So sunlight, cold exposure, things like that. Yeah, I stick to mainly the fitness side of things, work on myself and my health. So that's my hierarchy of, obligations or priorities in my life.
Yeah, there's that too often said saying about like putting on the airplane, you put on your own breathing mask before you put on your child, because you can't help them if you're dead. You can't help and it's very true in all relationships. Like if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to show up as the best version of yourself, who's then going to be able to serve other people and like be the person you want to be for them. So I 100% agree that, yeah, you got to take care of yourself. Has that I actually did listen to that podcast episode about the hierarchy. And so I'm curious, has that always been that way for you? Or is that like something, I mean, I guess spouse obviously comes as you find a spouse and get married and everything, but has it always been that way?
No, it hasn't always been that way. Yeah, this is something that's definitely came up recently. Since I got married, and then within the past probably 2 years, I've been taking my relationship with God very seriously lately. So like the past 2 years or so, me and my wife we made a decision to start going back to church. So I've started taking that very seriously. So that put God at number 1 immediately, and he wasn't even on the list before. He was not on the list at all. And I don't know if you're religious or not, or if your listeners are, but this is just me and my story. He wasn't on the list at all. My wife, honestly, a couple of years ago, probably wasn't on my list at all either. I wasn't making, or she was on my list. I'll take that back. She was on my list. Just I had myself above her. You know what I'm saying? I was selfish. I'll be honest. Like I was all about myself, all about me. And that's how it is growing up. You have your family, yes, but I would have put myself above my family as well. Which I think that's right. You should put yourself above your family. But once we 'Cause we went through some problems very early on in our marriage, and we realized that wasn't gonna work for us. You know, I was being selfish, you know, working out, doing things that not spending time with her. So that quickly changed. As soon as I got back in church, I got my priorities right, I got myself straight. I quit, focusing only on myself, and I still work on myself a lot, but I make sure, God's number one, and then my wife is just as important as me. Like, she's on the same level as me and myself. So I would say no, it hasn't always been that way. I don't have kids yet, but when I do have kids, they will fit right on that number 3 slot. Um, and then, friends, obviously, and then family. So yeah, the first 2 of that hierarchy, I would say, were not there probably 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So it has switched orders a little bit, but yeah, it hasn't. So that's how it is now, and that's been pretty recent, within the last, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, man, I've been thinking about this lately. I think there's like a period that I would say as a man you go through, maybe women as well. It might be the same thing, but in my experience as a man, I've it's like a developmental phase where like you have to be selfish early on because you're figuring out how to be an adult, how to be a man, how to take care of yourself. And that's like a whole thing that you got to just figure out and focus on yourself for some time. And that's almost like a necessary precursor to then the next step, which is like, okay, now how do I take care of someone else? How do I like show up as a boyfriend or a husband or spouse? And then the next level, obviously beyond that, if you keep going, is like, how do I be a father? But I do think that that initial phase of like kind of selfishness in terms of like, I'm focused on myself, I'm going to figure out how I work and how I push myself.
Yeah, I
It
agree,
almost seems
absolutely.
necessary.
Yeah, it's a necessity, it's necessary, but it's a phase. It's a
Mhm.
short,
Mhm.
period. You gotta find yourself. You gotta be able to love yourself. If you can't love yourself, then you can't love anyone else.
Mhm.
So you gotta go all in on yourself first. So any single people out there, this is for you. Like, you gotta go in on yourself. You gotta love yourself, because if you can't love you, then nobody else is gonna be able to love you.
Yep.
Period. So be a little it's okay to be a little selfish, but just know that's a phase. That's a time period. There's a beginning and the end of that. There's no, because eventually you're going to find the other person, and then you're going to have to pour into that other person the same way that you poured into yourself. So it's a time of your life. It's a period. So yeah, you definitely you got to work on yourself and find
100%.
what you like to do, what you enjoy to do, what your beliefs are, what gets you going, what gets you motivated, what makes you happy, just things like that. You gotta spend some time with yourself, spend some time alone, and just work on that. And it's I think it's necessary to do that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Um, I think also this idea of like going out into dating and dating with the intention of marriage, like if you don't have that self-love, you are going to be trying to fill like there's a saying, it's like a like you keep bringing up the cup idea, like filling up your cup. If your cup has a hole in it, like no one's it's never going to be full. So if you can't figure out how to like love yourself, you're just trying to have someone else fill your cup that has a hole in it, and it's going to be emptying the whole time. So you have to first give yourself that. Okay, so that is cool to hear. So it's like you have these obligations, but you've actually chosen them, and you've like really gone through a process of prioritizing them, deciding what is most important. What is how has that this introduction or reintroduction of God in your life, how does that play into like training and you doing all these crazy feats that you've been doing the past years?
That's a good question. So I started doing these challenges before I really created that relationship with God again. I wouldn't say the challenges kind of brought me to God. It was kind of my spouse kind of brought me that way. Me and her were, working on our relationship, which kind of reunited that relationship. But as far as my challenges go, honestly, it's a lot of trying to think of how to word it. It's definitely like a spiritual experience to go through, um, to push yourself, just months and months and months of going through training, physically and mentally. Um, but it's so rewarding at the end of the day when you do it. So I'm trying to think I mean, they're not really, related
Mhm.
in my opinion. But I just try to think of what I'm doing it for and why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to showboat. I'm not doing it to impress anybody. I'm not doing it to, just for all the accolades, just to say, yeah, I did it. I mean, honestly, sometimes, yeah, it's cool to say you did some of these things, but I try to do it for more of a purpose now, like trying to help other people. That's why I do the podcast. That's why I post, social media. I post on social media because I try to inspire other people or try to motivate them, and I try to help them. And I think that's my form of giving back. So I don't like work at a church, I'm not preaching, I'm not, a pastor or anything like that. But because I don't think that's necessarily me, and I can't give back in that way, but I can give back in inspiring other people, motivating other people, showing other people that they can do hard things too. They can do things they want to do as long as they put their mind to it. Then they can do it. Because that's all I did. I was never a runner. I never did anything like that. I just decided I was going to do it, and I practiced it for months, and I got good at it, and I did it. And it's just inspiring to show that normal people like me can do cool things too. So that's my way of like giving back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily going out and preaching or giving homeless people money, but that's my form of helping other people.
Right, right. Just providing some kind of inspiration or some
Hmm.
example that other people can follow. Okay, well, with that, let's talk about your bodybuilding show. So this was 2 years ago, is that right?
August of 24.
Okay, so
So a
just
year
about a
ago.
year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so walk me through, first of all, like, the decision to do that. What went into that?
So the decision to do it, um, it actually started when I did Ironman the year prior. So when I did the Ironman, it created this, and we talked about it a little bit. It created this thing where I created a bucket list where I want to do one tough challenge like every year, just one, because a lot of them take time to train for. So I want to do one cool challenge, and the Ironman started that. Well, the next year rolled around, and I had to pick something to do for that year, and I never really wanted to do a bodybuilding show because the idea of getting a spray tan and getting on stage pretty much half naked it's never, like, intriguing to me, like, I never wanted to do that, but I've always been into weightlifting. I've always worked out very heavily, and I've always loved, like, the bodybuild style training. Like, I've always worked out like a bodybuilder. That's the kind of training I do. So, I was like, I gotta do it. Like, this it only makes sense for me to do a bodybuilding show because I've literally been training this way for like 10, 11 years at this point. So, I was like, it's on my list to do because I literally wrote out I have a list in my notes on my phone of things I want to do, and that was one on the list. I was like, well, might as well go ahead and do it. I'm gonna do it once. I'm gonna see if I like it. If I don't like it, then I don't have to do it again. I checked the box, and so that was really the only reason I did it. Really, is because it's on my list to do. I didn't have no like any other like reason or interest in bodybuilding, but now I kind of enjoy the bodybuilding space. Like I never was into like bodybuilders before, but now like through that process, I've learned a lot about the sport of bodybuilding. I've learned a lot about, what it takes to be a bodybuilder, and it's a lot more than you would think. Like there's a lot more that goes into it um, than you realize. And I never realized any of that because I never looked into bodybuilding before. But it was a cool experience. I learned a ton. I'm glad I did it, but I don't know if it's necessarily something I'm gonna do again. Not anytime soon, at least.
Yeah, so you, I mean, it was something you were gonna do. You knew you were gonna do it at some point, and then
Mhm.
the timing just was like, "Okay, this works now. Let's do it."
Yeah, pretty much. So it's pretty much all I went into it.
Cool. So
I
then
knew
what
I wanted to try it. Like I did want to do it. I was excited about it. I wanted to try it to really see what I could do, like to push myself because it was tough, very tough.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do it, but now that I've done it, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like I don't have to do it again.
What was the hardest part about it?
Just the well, I don't want to give you the basic answer of the diet because obviously the diet is the hardest part. But to me, like along that same line of thought is the fact that everything revolves around food, everything. So, like, not just the fact that you're kinda starving yourself basically, but the fact that, like, you have to take food with you everywhere you go. And everywhere you go, you can't eat if you go anywhere, you can't eat whatever is there. It's like if you go to a party, if you go to a restaurant, if you go to, it's a holiday, you can't have none of that. You have to literally take meal prep containers with you everywhere you go. I eat 6 times a day. I had 6 meals a day. So I eat about roughly every 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. So literally, anytime I left the house, I would have a lunchbox with at least 2 meal preps in it, always, no matter where I went. I took 3 meals to work every day, 3. I would literally eat 3 times at work, and then I would eat, 3 times when I got back home. So it's like it's it's a it's a lot that goes into it just from the food side of things. Like, and meal prepping was insane. It would take me hours to meal prep on Sunday. I would cook everything on Sunday just because it was easier to do it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So I would have what, 6 well, I didn't prep si I only prepped, like, 4 meals because one meal was a breakfast that I just made at home, and, like, one meal was, like, my post-workout shake, so I didn't really have to prep that, but all the other 4 meals I had to prep. So, 7 days a week, 4 meals a day, just imagine how long it takes to cook all that food. So, it was a lot that went into the diet. Besides the fact of, just starving yourself and eating only healthy food, there's a lot more that goes into it, and, like, one thing that really sucked was, like, I had to go my family loves to go out to eat, or my wife's family, that's what they do as, like, a family, that's their thing, that's how they spend time with each other, is they go out to eat. Well, I had to go out to eat with them several times, I couldn't just say, "No, I'm not going," and I literally had to sit there and order nothing and watch them eat. Like, I sat at the rest of the table and didn't order anything. Like, it was miserable. It sucked not being able to eat, good food at a restaurant when, when everybody else was enjoying
Yeah, yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, I'm guessing at the beginning, you're eating a lot, and then towards the end, you're, like, slowly cutting it back?
Yeah, so I hired a coach, about I wanna say 6 to 7 months out. It was at least 6 months. I wanna say closer to 7. So when I first started with him, he actually, kinda did me like a reverse diet with me. Like, he had me eating a lot. Like, I was probably eating
Mhm.
4,000 calories a day at least. Like, I was eating a lot to try and build my metabolism as much as possible. Like, I was just
Okay.
forcing food in a lot, probably 4 at least 4,000 calories a day. And then so we did that to build up my metabolism, probably, 2 to 3 months, and then I think I started really dieting, like, he started working it back a little bit at a time, and about 3 months out, I wanna say. So no, maybe a little earlier, so that's 12 weeks. It may have been, like, 16 weeks out, so 4 months out, he started, like, cutting back my food. So
Okay.
we kinda bulked up not bulked up, but we built the metabolism for 2 to 3 months, and then we dieted down for about 16 weeks, after that.
And then is that initial phase also when you're, like, putting on the most muscle?
I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, that would be the goal, but I mean, at this point, I pretty much built all the muscle I was gonna build, you know?
Gotcha.
You wanna I mean, it takes years to build muscle, so,
Right, right.
yeah, yeah, you wanna be pushing hard during that time. You definitely wanna use those calories, like, use them to your advantage. If you got the extra calories, you might as well put them to work. So, yeah, definitely you're trying to train hard and put on some muscle, because when you're dieting, you're not gonna put any muscle on. I mean, especially if you're natural, you're definitely not gonna put no muscle on when you're in a calorie deficit like that. Even if you're enhanced, I don't maybe there's a way you could I don't know. Maybe you could, but I doubt you could put on muscle when you're even if you're enhanced in a deficit like that.
Yeah. I think from what I've heard, it's typically, like, you're just trying to hold on to as much,
Yeah,
like, not lose as
exactly.
much muscle as possible.
Yeah.
What's, like, the so you're doing cardio twice a day? Is that right?
Well, not until I got later on, like, real deep into my prep.
Okay.
At first I wasn't doing any cardio, and then I started with one session of cardio, and it may not have been every day, it may have been, like, every other day. But then that one session of cardio then went into every day, and then it went into, like, 1 cardio session every day, and then some days would have 2, and then you just keep adding on more and more and more like
Mhm.
that, and it would, start out at, like, 30 minutes. I would do incline walking, or I would do, um, the stair stepper. But then when I got deep in prep, like, 8 weeks out, 4 weeks out, I was doing, stair stepper for 45 minutes in the morning, working out, and then when I got home from work, I'm doing the incline treadmill, for 45 minutes. So it got to be a lot, but yeah, it's gradual. As your food goes down, your cardio kinda
It
goes
goes
up.
up.
So they go opposite of each other.
Oh, that's the worst. What's yeah, what's the feeling of, like, you have 0 energy because 'cause you're not eating enough, and then you're like, "I have to do cardio after work." Like, does that just suck or
Yeah, it's hard, but if you really wanna do it, you can make yourself do it.
Mhm.
Um, it's very hard. Like, I hated it. To me, the cardio wasn't the worst part. To me, the workouts and posing. I had I had a lack of I had no energy, I couldn't work out, like, I really couldn't, like, it would take everything in me to get through my workouts, like, I literally just wanted to sit at the machine and just take a nap, like, that's how bad it was. I couldn't work out, I would take like 2 scoops of pre-workout and it wouldn't even phase me. Like it was not working. So my workouts were terrible, I'll be honest. Um, I did them as best as I could. I did every workout. I did every set, every rep, but may not really at the intensity that I could have otherwise. So the workouts were hard, and then posing. Posing was terrible. I don't know what it was about posing, but it's literally like a cardio session in itself. It's pretty hard. Um, so you really gotta want it. Like you gotta want it. I mean, it's hard to tell you how it feels when you have a lack of energy. Because honestly, I never felt this way before. It's just you have no motivation. You're kind of tired. You're grumpy. Like you're not in a good mood. Um, but I'd already signed up for it. I'd already committed to it, and I wanted to give it everything I had. Like I knew this was probably gonna be the one and only time I ever did it. So I was like, I gotta do it. Like I can't make an excuse. Because if I don't do this cardio and then I go to on stage and I look like crap, I'm gonna be mad. Like I'll be mad at myself. So I never let myself like not do it. I never let myself cheat. That's because if I cheated and then it would come back to bite me in the butt. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go down that route.
Have you always had that kind of mentality around, like, doing what you say you're going to do? So, like, when you decide you're gonna in this example, you decided, "Okay, I'm doing this bodybuilding thing, I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna do every single thing, I'm gonna eat every single food the right amount, and I'm gonna hit every workout, yada, yada, yada." Have you always had that, like, determination that you're gonna follow through?
I would say yes. It depends on what that thing is though. When it comes to fitness, I'm pretty locked in and committed because this is like fitness to me is a hobby. It's what I enjoy doing. I like doing it. It's fun. So yes, I would say on this side of things. I grew up an athlete. I played sports growing up, and I've always been very competitive. I want to win. I don't care if we're playing tic tac toe. I'm trying to win. Um, so yes. Now, when it comes to other things, like chores around the house, like I could care less about those things. You know what I'm saying? I could slack on those. But yeah, when it comes to like my challenges and things, yeah, I've pretty much been that way. And it's only because like I'm my biggest critic. Like if I fail at something, I know it's my fault. It's 100% my fault. And because I didn't give it all, or I didn't do something, or I skipped a meal one day, or I skipped cardio one day, like it would be my fault that I lost, or I failed at something. So if I do fail, if I slacked off and failed, I'm gonna beat myself up about it. And I know I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna set myself up ahead of time to not do that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So once I say I'm gonna do something, like I want to give it my all. Like I want to do it. There's no point in halfway doing something. If you're gonna halfway do it, you might as well just not do it at all. Because you're gonna get halfway results if you halfway do something. So once you make your mind up on something you want to do, like you gotta go all in. That's the only way to do it. Either do it all in or all out. Well, I say that, but that's a bad example. Because that's a bad example because people are like that in their fitness journey, and you shouldn't be that way in your fitness journey. But
Yeah.
when it comes to like a challenge like that, like a challenge that's just for fun, yeah, I would say you need to just give it your all or don't do it at all.
Yeah, I guess it is different with fitness as a whole,
Yeah, I
which is
actually
like
preach against that. And fitness as a whole, I preach against people don't go all in or all out because they'll go all in and they burn themselves out and then they quit.
Mhm.
So fitness, it's a little different. You gotta have a good balance, of rest days, workout days, things like that. When it comes to your diet, you gotta have a balance because if you cut out all your favorite foods, eventually you're gonna quit your
Yeah.
diet. So it's when it comes to fitness and overall, like your overall health, I wouldn't say all in or all out. But when you're doing like a challenge, an event, like a hobby or something like that, then yeah, I think you should give it your all.
yeah, and it's different when there's, like, a set time period where it's, like, encapsulated. It's like,
Mhm.
this thing is going to go on for 6 months or 3 months or whatever it is, and like, "Okay, I know I can do this for 6 months. I don't wanna do this." It's like what you said with the bodybuilding, like, I'll see after I do it if I even wanna do it again.
Mhm.
So there's a clear end point, whereas with fitness, like, there's no end point. Fitness is like a lifelong journey. It's never gonna go away. So I think that's the key difference is when you're doing a challenge, you have that ability to like, okay, for this set amount of time, I'm gonna give it my all and I'm gonna go 100% in.
Yeah, that's a great point that you bring up, actually. That's a good way to put it. I like that. Yeah, because there's no way I could have done that eating like the bodybuilding show. There's no way I could have done that for longer, like after the
Right.
show. I would have never do that. Like, there's no way. So that's a good point. Yeah, fitness has no end. Like fitness is a lifestyle. It should be a lifestyle that you do forever. And then like a challenge, like a if you want to do like a triathlon, or if you want to do a marathon, or if you want to do a bodybuilding show, like that's a it has a set time frame, has an end point. So that's a good point. Like you could go all in for that those 6 months or that 1 year or whatever the challenge is you're doing. Like go all in for that, and then after that, you gotta have to find a balance from there.
Yeah. What's like your general advice around diet or nutrition?
I'm so basic when it comes to diet. Like I don't the the only diet that's good for you is the diet that you will stick to, the diet that you will follow. Like there is no good diet. You know what I'm saying? It's the good diet for you is the one that you will stick to. Period. I know that's such a basic answer, but to me, I mean, eat whole foods, eat protein. Like it's not hard. Like any processed food is try to cut out as much processed food as possible. I mean, I know you can't do it 100%. I mean, some people go extreme and they do, but for majority of people, it's not realistic to cut out 100% of processed food. They're just so convenient. We're always on the go. Like it's gonna happen. Like I eat protein bars every day. I love a protein bar. That's like my sweet treat. And that's processed. But try to minimize processed foods and eat whole foods, single ingredient foods, foods that are in its original state, in its original form. If it grew in the ground or if it's an animal, then you're good to go. But if it's got a whole bunch of other junk in there, you don't need it. I don't preach any specific diets. If the diet works for you and you can stick to it, then that's a good diet in my opinion. Um, I also don't like to use the term diet because diet, like you said, like you mentioned earlier, it has a time frame around it. People like to put time frames on diet, like, "Ooh, I'm gonna follow this diet for 3 months, or I'm gonna follow this diet until I lose 20 pounds." But then after you lose that 20 pounds, the diet's over. Like the
Right.
time frame is over. So and people like to use the term diet. Like it's not a diet. You're just switching the way you eat. You're switching your eating habits. It shouldn't be a time frame associated with you eating healthy.
Right.
So I always like to say, you've probably heard this before, stay around the outside of the grocery store. Don't go in the middle aisles of the grocery store because that's where all your processed foods are going to be. So try to eat single ingredient foods. Protein first. I'm a big protein guy. Like I preach, the basic 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight or per pound of your goal body weight. Eat protein. I'm not a vegetarian. If you are a vegetarian, that's cool. I don't. If you want to be vegan, that's cool with me too. Or if you want to eat meat, by all means, eat meat. Like do what works for you. I don't like to, put limitations on what people are eating.
Yeah, I think that is the reason why. So a lot of people will go vegan and then they're like, "Oh, wow, I'm losing so much weight. I'm so much healthier." And then there's also people who will like start doing carnivore and they're like, "Wow, I'm getting so healthy. It's working so well." And like it makes no sense. But then I think the reason why is that both of them are just cutting out processed foods. Like they're both just going to full whole food diets.
That and they're cutting out calories as well. Because when you cut a bunch of junk out of your diet, it just naturally lowers the amount of calories you're eating. Because you're eating whole foods. They're less in calories and they're more satiating. They make you feel fuller.
Yep.
So you will eat less of them. Period. So you'll lose weight and they're natural. So like you'll feel much better because you're not putting a bunch of junk in your body. So yes, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, the the unfortunate truth is that a lot of processed foods are designed to make you want more. They're designed to be, like, not too filling. They make you crave more and be able to eat more because then you buy more. So, that's very true that eating normal foods, like, your body's pretty good at detecting when it's had enough versus when you're eating weird foods that it's not used to, it's easy to overeat and go crazy in that regard.
Also, like I like to say, eat your protein first, because
Mm,
again, protein is satiating. It's typically more satiating than carbs or fats. It'll make you feel hungrier faster. I mean, it'll make you feel fuller faster if you eat them first. So I typically will say, eat your protein first, and then eat what's left on your plate, your carbs and your fats.
alright, let's talk about running 100 miles. So that was your challenge for this year,
hmm
2025. Was that also on that same list that bodybuilding was?
Yeah, yeah. I just created a few kind of hard physical challenges that you could do. So it's things. A lot of them are running based. So triathlon, 100 mile. I did do the bodybuilding show, which is very different. I have a few other things like that, like a Spartan race is on there. High Rocks is on there, so that's a little different. CrossFit competition. Those are kind of related, High Rocks and CrossFit. So yeah, it's all endurance related, fitness related events that I want to do. And then of course I have some like random, things on there. Like I want to go skydiving. Like I think that would be cool. And I want to go see the pyramids. Like I think that'd be cool. And just random things like that. But I'm not counting those like towards my
Right,
challenge.
right. So those are more just like general bucket lists.
Yeah.
Rather than like
Yeah.
this is for the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ultra, another like insane challenge in itself. What was the hardest part about that? Was it training? Was it the race day? What do you think?
It was 100% race day. Race day was by far the hardest. And it was the hardest out of the 3 big challenges I've done on race day. So they're all different in their own way. The Ironman was very hard with training. Training for Ironman was very hard. It's very taxing on the body. A lot of time, like your whole day is eat up basically. Because you're training twice a day most of the time, and you're working, so your days are gone. When it comes to bodybuilding, it's the training again was probably the hardest because that's where you're locked in on your diet, your training. When you get to race, when you get to show day, it's easy. You're going up there and posing. It's over with at that point. And then the training for the ultra was the easiest to me because you're only training for one discipline. You're training for running, and that's it. So really, you only did one run a day. Um, with Ironman, it's a little different because I was doing two. I was doing 2 disciplines a day. I was either swimming and biking, or swimming, running, or biking and running. So it was a lot more training that went into the Ironman. So the training for the ultra to me was the easiest. Now, don't get me wrong, I did do some long runs, some very long runs. And I ran a lot. I think I was doing 6 days a week. Yeah, I had one off day, so 6 days a week I was running. On the weekends, those are my long runs, just because I don't have work, so I got time to do them. So training was probably the easiest, but when it came to race day was by far the hardest, just because it's such a like, long drawn out day. It was literally over a day. It took me 28 hours and 35 minutes. So literally, I was out there for over a day, no sleep, ran through the night. So race day is long. It was brutal, and yeah. So when it comes to like competition day, the ultra was by far the hardest, but the training to me was probably the easiest. So it's kind of weird how they differ from each other, the different challenges.
Was there any part of you that was, I guess in any of these, in like the triathlon, the bodybuilding, the ultra, were there times where you seriously considered quitting?
Oh, absolutely. Every not on race day, but during the training. Absolutely. I always every single one of my big training preps that I did, every single one of them, I went through a real bad like slump. And by slump I mean like mental slump, not physical. I still did all my training and stuff for all of them, but I definitely went through like a mental slump where I was just wore out, tired, my body was give up. Like I really could have like took a week off and let my body recover. But I didn't just because I knew I had a crunch time. Like I only gave myself like 6 months for each of these challenges to do, which is not smart. You should give yourself longer than that. I did it in a lot shorter time period than I should have. But yeah, I definitely went through a slump through each one of them where I was like, man, this sucks. I don't want to get up and train because I do all my training in the morning before I go to work. So I'm up at 4 a.m. every day. And there's definitely a time period where you get in that rhythm of doing it every day, and it wears you out. It takes a toll on you mentally and physically. So you will go through that rut. Like I promise you, if you do if you go through a training prep like this, you're definitely going to go through a rut for sure. It's going to happen at some point in time, and you're going to want to quit. But you just gotta, keep your mind on the mission. You gotta know that going in. Know that going in is gonna suck at some point, and you just gotta push through it. That's just part of the prep, and I've just gotten used to it. Like I know at some point I'm gonna want to quit, but I'm gonna keep going. And go ahead and sign up for it ahead of time, so you don't have no option. You don't have no option but to keep going, because you will. It's like the mountain valley, scenario. For every valley, there's gonna be a mountain. After that, for every high, there's gonna be a low, and every low, there's gonna be a high. So you just gotta remember that. Keep that in the back of your head and keep pushing. And just know that like you're not going to be able to give it 100% all the time. Like you're going to go through weeks where you can only give 70%, but you still got to show up. Like your training is not going to be, you're not going to go hard every single day. Like your body goes through like recovery periods. You're going to push through. And you just gotta be smart about your training. Don't try to wing it. Follow a structured training plan. If you don't know what you're doing, hire a coach if you have the funds to do that. If you don't, do as much research as possible as you can online. A little life hack: go to ChatGPT and literally ask them to write you a plan, and they're pretty good with them. They're pretty good. So yeah, be smart about your training and build in some like deload weeks into your training. This is gonna be great for your body to recover. Every single one of my training plans have had these kind of deload weeks. And for the bodybuilding show, it was kind of the opposite. It was kind of like what you would call a refeed. So you'd actually give your body more food to recover. Um, but for the endurance races, yeah, I definitely had like deload weeks where I wouldn't quit training. I would still train, but the intensity was dialed way back, less miles, things like that. So yeah, you just got to know going in, you're going to have ruts and you just got to work through them and you'll be glad you did.
Yeah, I trained for a half marathon last winter, and then it was in January, and I remember my longest run was like 12 miles, so it's like almost the full distance, and
Mm,
I ran it here in Minnesota in the winter, and it's like super cold out. I'm running with my sister's dog, and I'm just like I just have such a bad run, but I just do it. Like I just get through the
mm,
whole run. I'm running super slow, and I'm like I'm not. I feel like I'm in bad shape because I'm like, why did that go so poorly? And I just keep following the plan. I do all the training runs, and then I get to race day, and I run like my fastest half ever by far, like almost like a minute off of my pace of the last one I did. So there is something to be said about, like, just following the process and, like, accepting that training is gonna have ups and downs. There are gonna be days where you have runs that just don't go well and, like, you're not feeling good and you're slow, and just stick to it. Just, like, yeah, follow through and believe in yourself that race day when race day comes, you'll be ready.
yeah, absolutely. My biggest advice is just don't try to wing it. Get you a set training plan and follow that training plan.
Yeah.
That's the best thing I can do for me is if I don't have it, then it's easy to kind of skip on it. You know, it's easy to say, "Oh, I don't have to work out today." But if you have a training plan written out, you see, "Oh, I got 10
Right,
miles
right.
today. I got to do this pace." It's a lot easier to follow that. So find you an app. There's plenty of apps nowadays that'll make workout plans for you. If you want running plans, go to Training Peaks. There's a lot of good apps out there. You know, I mentioned ChatGPT. You can use that or hire a coach, especially if you're a beginner and you really beginner. Hiring a coach is probably the best thing you can do. Yeah, it's gonna be expensive, it's gonna cost you, but they can really teach you a lot, and learn, like, the basics of things, and then you don't necessarily have to hire one for every prep, you know, just for that first one or you know, where you can really learn the basics and fundamentals of it.
Yeah, I use ChatGPT for my upcoming race plan.
Mhm.
'Cause, yeah, then
Yeah,
you can just completely customize it and
yeah, I was before I signed I'm training for a little local triathlon now, but before that, I was trying to get faster, like, because I wanna do a marathon towards the end of the year,
Mhm.
so I was trying to work on my speed. So I went on ChatGPT and got it and told it exactly what I was trying to do, and I told it when race day was, you know, told it my, you know, experience level, things like that, and it literally spit out a plan, like, a really nice plan, like, I thought it was good, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm finna follow it," and I did. I followed it for a few weeks, and then I have some buddies talk me into doing the triathlon, so I kinda scrapped that plan, but now I'm following the triathlon plan, so it's yeah, it works, like, ChatGPT is smart, like, it can put out a good plan. The only problem with the ChatGPT is yeah, you have the plan and the information you need, but then you gotta go and execute, like, you gotta go and do it. There's no one motivating you to go do it. You gotta go do it yourself. So that's where a coach can come in and help you out a lot because 'cause they'll hold you accountable when it comes to things like that. But if you have, you know, if you have self-discipline, then you can do it yourself, no problem. I've always been self-taught. The only time I've ever hired a coach was for the bodybuilding show, and, you gotta have a coach. Like, there's no way I could have done it by myself. There's no way.
yeah, that seems like more of a like, there's more variables in
A lot.
bodybuilding that
Yeah.
that you just wouldn't know about. Like, I'm sure I don't know half of what goes into that.
Yeah, I learned a lot. My coach was very, knowledgeable. He's a IFBB pro. He's done it for a long time. He was very smart. Like, he was saying things that I would have never thought of
Mhm.
before. So he had a lot of experience. He's coached a lot of people, so he knew what he was doing. So make sure you get an experienced coach that knows what they're doing and that's done it themselves.
Yeah, so for my ultra, for the plan, I printed it out and I, like, check off the box every day. Like, I have a whole
Mhm.
table, and when I do the run, I check it off. And that for me, there's something that I really like about, like, checking things off or, like, doing a physical thing that I can see that's, like, visual, and it's like, "Okay, I did this thing, I can see it."
Mhm.
Something about that is, like, pleasing to me and then also very motivating because it's just, like, right in front of me. It's on my desk, like, I know I have to do my runs.
Yeah, I have, on the reminders app, I have an iPhone. On the
Mhm.
reminders app, I have the same thing. Like, I have a to-do list. I created a shortcut where every day
It's right there.
it creates a new shortcut. It creates all my daily tasks. So every day I can go through and just mark them off just like that because
Okay.
it's like satisfying, to be able to mark it
Yeah,
off.
I like
And
that.
that way you don't forget. I'm very forgetful, so it helps remind me to do things.
I'll have to look at that. Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you when you're not training for a specific thing like bodybuilding, triathlon, whatever, do you still come up with training plans for yourself for, like, regular lifting or
I don't follow a structured training plan. I just follow like a split. So,
Mhm.
there for a while I did a push pull leg split, and actually recently I've been doing full body workouts. So I've been doing that for probably the past after my bodybuilding show. I went to full body workouts. I went to that. So I've been doing that ever since, and I like them. They're good for me because now I'm only training 3 days a week. I'm only weight training 3 days a week.
Mhm.
So it's good for me because one, I'm hitting my muscles 3 days a week. I'm not hitting them optimally because I'm only hitting them like one exercise. But if I ever miss a workout, it's easy for me to go make up another workout because I'm not missing any body parts because I'm
Mhm.
doing full body workouts. So especially right now with triathlon training, my 3 workout days, I'm having to do 2 days because I'm running, biking, or swimming.
Mhm.
So if I miss a workout, because I'm doing my triathlon comes first right now because that's my goal. So I'm doing my endurance training first. And if I can fit in a workout in the day, then I'll fit it in. But if I can't, then it's not that big of a deal because I can just make it up the next day, because I'm just doing full body workouts. So that's why I like the full body workouts. And I think I would actually recommend these to most people, to beginners. I would say full body workouts. Is it the best one? Again, it goes back to what works for you. I like push pull legs. I really like that. I did that for a while. For the longest time, I did a typical bro split. So, I did chest and tries, back and bis, shoulders and legs. I did
Mhm.
that for a long time, and that worked for me. But as far as like a structured plan where I'm doing exact exercises and things, I kind of just do my own thing. I've been doing it for years, so I know what exercises work for me. I know what exercises I like, things like that. So I kind of just wing it when it comes to that. Um, but I have a little experience. So if you're just starting out, I think following a structured plan is a great way to go, and I think you should do it that way. So, but I don't follow like a specific one.
Yeah, I agree. I remember when I was, like, 16, it was the first time I was, like, trying to start lifting weights, and I went to the YMCA, and I think I did the bench press, and then I, like, went and did curls, and then I just, like, couldn't think of anything else to do, so I just left, and it was, like, 20 minutes into my workout. So, in that instance, having, like, "Okay, these are the things I'm gonna do today," 'cause, like, I just didn't know that much about the gym.
Mhm.
I, like, look around, I'm like, "Okay, what else do I do?" So, for beginners, having an idea of exactly what you're doing, at least to start out, I think is great, just in terms of actually getting a good workout in.
And it takes the guesswork out of it too. Like you don't even have to think about it.
Mhm.
You're like, all right, we did bicep curls, now tricep press downs are next. So
Right.
it takes a lot of the guesswork out, and that's where honestly, ChatGPT could come in clutch again here.
Mhm.
It can give you some good ideas. But again, I would recommend if you're just starting out, hire a coach at the beginning. They can teach you a lot, especially those first few months. They can teach you. Well, I'm really big on technique. Like when you're first starting out, you gotta learn the right form, the right technique, because you may get away with it when you're first starting out with light weights, but as you start getting stronger and adding weights, if you're doing a lot of weight with incorrect form, you're gonna end up injuring yourself. Like, it's gonna happen at some point, and
Right.
you're probably gonna get injured anyways. Like, everybody, you're pushing yourself hard, it's gonna happen. I've had injuries myself, but luckily, I haven't had many. I haven't had any that kinda took me out for a while. So, I preach technique, learning the form early. Like, learn it first. Don't start working out and get strong and then learn proper technique. Learn proper technique first. Literally do the bar or do body weight squats at first, or and then go to the bar, and then work your way up from there, especially for beginners. And if you have lack of mobility, things like that, like you gotta get your mobility down and your technique. So that's where a coach can come in and help you out a lot there at the beginning.
Yeah, that stuff is super important. Because yeah, like you said, once you get strong enough, you can, like, do damage to your body that
Absolutely.
you don't recognize when you're doing just light weights, because it's, like, a different load on, like, your bones and your ligaments and all that other stuff that isn't, like, getting strong as you're building muscle.
And YouTube will be your best friend. Go to YouTube and search it up.
Yeah.
I love YouTube. Like I do that. I still do that to this day. And you can find full workouts on there too. We were talking about, finding a structured plan. Like literally look up YouTube, look up a workout for the day and just follow that video. And it'll tell you if it's video version, normally it'll tell you exactly how to do it, the right form, all that kind of stuff. So that's a big resource that you can use.
Yeah, me and my friend early in college who, like, we started working out together, and this was the first time I, like, really got super consistent. We would, like, share videos and, like, be like, "Oh, I saw this new thing, we gotta try it today," and so we go to the gym and, like, try out some new thing, and, like, that made it so much more fun too, just to be, like, learning outside of the gym and then every day, like, bringing something new in, and
Mhm.
I feel like that's where I really got, like, the foundation of just understanding, okay, these are the different things you can do in the gym, these are what they do, these are how they, like, hit different muscles, all that kinda stuff.
Yeah, with that being said though, be careful what you're watching on some of these videos. 'Cause some people
Very
get a little
true.
crazy with it. You gotta be careful. Some of these fitness influencers, they can do very cool looking exercises, but they got a lot more experience than you do. Like they can do it because they've been grinding and worked their way up to it. Don't think you're gonna start on day one doing some of the stuff that they do. Literally start with the basics. Do the workouts that people have been doing for hundreds of years. Bench press, squat, deadlift, overhead press. Like the basics work. There's a reason we still do the basics to this day because they work. So I would say try to stick to the basics as much as you can, and then you can kind of experiment with some of the more fun exercises that you see online.
Yeah, calisthenics are generally pretty safe as well
Mm.
if you're trying those. Okay, let's talk about your podcast. So, yeah, how long have you been doing that for?
I've been doing the podcast for 3 years now. So
Okay,
it don't
and
seem that long, but it's been 3 years.
that's
I got
crazy.
over 160 episodes now. I try to do one a week. I've been for the past 2 years. I've been consistent with one a week. The first year, I did it for a while, and then I kind of fell off, and then I started doing it again. Well, I'm locked in now, so I made it. Like last year, my New Year's resolution was to do one episode a week, and I stuck to that, and it just got me in a rhythm, like a routine. And now it's easy. Like now I can do one a week every week, and I haven't missed. I'll tell you the one thing that helped me a lot, was now that I have, like, my setup, I leave it set up. I don't break it down. Like, I leave it up. I leave my camera on above the camera. I mean, I use a camera as my webcam. So I leave it on there. I leave my mic on the desk. I leave everything. My lights are set up. And that taking all, like, the extra steps out of it helped me a lot with being able to record. Because used to I was breaking it down, resetting it back up, and that would take, 30 minutes to an hour extra that you had to do. So there's a lot more resistance
Yep.
to recording it. So if you can take out all the resistance, it's a lot easier. If I know I can go in, boom, flip on my camera, flip on my light, press record, it's a whole lot easier for me to record it that way than having to, set everything up, set the camera. It's a long process. So the less friction I created with the podcast, the more consistent I was. And so now I got it all set up now. I got it figured out. So I can pretty consistently do one a week now.
Yeah, it feels like that's another obligation then, that, like, now you have that, you do it every single week, kinda non-negotiable.
Yeah, I would say so. Um, I did build up like a little backlog of videos. So now if I miss a week, it's all good.
That's the
And
way to do it.
I did that on purpose because I'm going on vacation in October and I'm gonna miss two. I record on Sundays, so I'm gonna miss 2 Sundays. So I'm getting this little backlog on purpose so I can miss it. I'm getting prepared ahead of time.
Yeah, that's kinda how what I've tried to do as well, and then also there's never, like, stress that it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Like, it allows for when you feel like you have something to say, then you record, rather than like, "Oh, I need to say something, let me come up with something," and then you come out with, like, worse quality stuff that just isn't as good.
And
Um
I used to always try to make mine longer, like 45 minutes to an hour. And now I don't have a time frame. I just record, and when I'm done, I'm done. It could be I have podcasts that are 15 minutes, literally.
Mhm.
Like the one I posted yesterday, is 15 minutes long, and that's cool with me. Like I'm okay with that. It don't have to be, an hour long,
Right.
but it could be an hour. If it is an hour, that's cool too. Like what I'm not. I don't. I took away like all the restrictions and parameters around it. Just record until I'm happy with it, and leave it at that.
Is it hard for you, or was it, like, hard, at least at first, to do, like, solo episodes where you're talking to yourself for that long?
Yeah, absolutely. I had to do a lot of research on the first ones that I did, just because I needed material to talk about, and like I said, I was trying to make it longer, so I
Mhm.
was looking up a lot of things. Um, so now that I don't give myself a time frame, it's not it's hard. It is hard talking to yourself because you don't have that back and forth conversation. Like
Mhm.
right now, we could talk for 2 hours because we can sit here and go back and forth. But when you don't have that back and forth, it is kind of hard sometimes. So you just have to give yourself points and talk about them. When you're done, you're done. That's why a lot of my podcasts are short now. They're less than 30 minutes, most of them. Like if I do a solo podcast, at max it's probably 30 minutes. But I utilize ChatGPT now. Like I'll be honest, I'm not gonna lie about it. I use it, but I don't use it to script my whole podcast. I use it to give me talking points. So
Mhm.
it'll give me bullet points, things to talk about. So I'll use those bullet points and then I'll give my own opinion on it. Like I'll talk about it, ramble on about it, and then go to the next point. But all my podcasts will have some kind of center idea or topic for the day, and then I'll just kind of use the bullet points that it gives me from there and kind of give my own, you know, idea or opinion around that, whatever that bullet point is.
Cool. What's something you're currently struggling with?
Well, something I've been uh just for some reason, lack of motivation lately. I haven't been motivated at all during like this prep for some reason.
Mm.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know. I guess I feel like I did my ultra too early in the year because now I don't have like that big thing to work towards. Like not having a big goal, a big thing I'm working towards, it's it's hard for me, to stay disciplined, stay motivated because I don't have that thing I'm really aiming for. I'm really shooting towards. To me, like this, I'm doing this Olympic distance triathlon, but to me, I've already done an Ironman. It's like this one's really not a big deal to me. Like I really don't care about it that much. I'm doing it because a lot of people I know are doing it, and I want to do it with them. Um, but it's not like a big goal that I'm trying to hit. Like I already know I can do it. Like I'm gonna go out there and finish it regardless. So it's not like something I'm really training for.
Mhm.
So when I don't have a big thing I'm really trying to do, it's hard for me to, stay focused, stay locked in. Like I'll be honest, like I've been sleeping in a little bit. I've been slacking on my diet because I don't have that big thing that I'm, training for. So it's kind of like a little slump that I'm going through. And that just happens, on your off season. You're not always going to be dialed in
Mhm.
100%. Um, but I've learned from me, having these big goals and these big challenges really helps me. It helps me really focus on like what I'm doing. It helps me put my blinders on. You've probably heard that before, to really focus on like the end goal.
Mhm.
And when you don't have that thing, it's harder, to stick to it, to stay disciplined. So that's why I encourage people, really set a goal that you want to achieve and make it something that kind of scares you a little bit. Like when I set the goal of running 100 miles, I literally was like, "There's no way I can do this. There's no way I'm going to be able to finish this race. I don't know how I'm going to do it." The furthest I had ever ran when I signed up for my ultra was 26.2 miles. It was a marathon. The furthest I'd ever ran. I did it in my Ironman. So I literally went from 26 miles to 100 miles. Literally, what's that like? 78 miles more. So that was scary to me. And everybody I told I was doing 100 miles, they were like, 100? Like, why don't you do 50? Why don't you do 50 first? See if you can do that and then do 100. I was like, nah, go big or go home. I'm doing 100 and I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to finish that. So it pushed me, and it kind of scared me a little bit, but that's what I liked about it. That's what made me work harder, made me stay more committed to it. And normally when I'm in a prep, um, I'm typically a lot more disciplined. Like I don't slack as much on my diet. I'm not sleeping in. Like if I got training that day, I'm getting up and doing the training. But I'll be honest, like for this one, I haven't been too motivated with it. Just because it's I don't know. I'm not like I guess it's not something that gets me going. It's not something I'm super excited about.
Right.
So that's kind of it helps for me when I have that one thing to look forward to.
Yeah, I've been having that with my ultra training. I've been eating pretty poorly. I've been just like 'Cause there's a part of my brain that's like, "Dude, you ran, like, 15 miles. You can eat whatever the fuck you want." And so there's a part of me that's kinda taking advantage of that. And so
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm also figuring out how can I dial that in and, like, yeah, do what's good for my body. Because I do obviously, like, I do need to eat more than normal because 'cause I'm running a
Mhm.
bunch, but
Your body's definitely hungry, for sure.
yeah,
I was I could eat anything and everything when I
yep,
was training, when I'm in prep, because 'cause I'm just
yeah,
your body's just so hungry, trying to recover, so, yeah, I definitely feel
yeah.
that.
So I'm just trying to figure out how to balance that with, like, staying healthy, keeping it with healthy foods and not
The
going too
best thing that
crazy.
helps me when it comes to diet is prepping food.
Mm,
That's the only way I can stick to things because they've made, like we were talking about earlier, they've made processed foods so easy to eat nowadays.
mhm.
They're so convenient. Like, that's why people eat them. 'Em, they're so convenient. And I eat them myself because they're you can just reach in the pantry and grab it and eat it. You ain't gotta prep it. You ain't gotta do nothing. So that's, like, the bad part. So for me, I go by the saying, "Out of sight, out of mind." So, like, I can't buy it. If I buy it in my
Yeah.
house, I'm gonna eat it 100%. If it's in my house, it's gonna get eaten. So I
Uh-huh.
can't buy it. I just can't have it in my house, period. But what helps me is I prep food. I have to. Like, my lunches are prepped every week. That's a non-negotiable. My lunches are gonna be prepped, period. But when you're in a training, like you, for example, you need to eat some more carbs probably. So maybe, prepping an extra, meal that's heavy on carbs for you to eat would be something it would make it easier because when you go in the fridge to get something and you see it sitting there, it's so much easier to just grab and eat it, if you
Right,
just
right,
gotta
right.
pop it in the microwave, than to actually have to make something. Like,
Mhm.
you're like I was talking about the podcast earlier, when you take the resistance out of it, it's so much easier to stick to it. So go ahead and, have some prepped for you, and that'll help a lot. It'll take a lot of that resistance out of it because cooking food sucks. Like, I hate cooking food. So you're not just gonna in the middle of the day, you get hungry, you're not just gonna whip up something, real quick, especially if it's
Yeah.
not like dinner time. Like, you may cook for dinner, but like if it's in between lunch and dinner, you're not gonna whip up something, on the grill, or you're not going to. But if you have it in there in the fridge already made, it's a
Yeah.
lot easier to just pop it in the microwave and eat it. So that's my biggest suggestion when it comes to food. That's what helps me a lot.
Yeah, I think there's something here with the resistance too that applies in so many different areas. I had, someone on the podcast, a while ago, his Dr. Benjamin Ritter, and he was talking about success in general, and he said, like, you wanna set up your environment so that success is, like, the easy path. So, like,
Mhm.
failing and doing the wrong thing is actually harder, and this would be that exact thing, is, like, don't keep the bad foods in your house and prep the good food. Have it ready for you. Have it easy. Have your podcast set up, ready to
Mhm.
record at any time. One thing for me early on in my training, when I had to get up and run in the morning, which I still do, but I'm more in the habit now. But early on, when there was a lot more resistance, is like get your clothes ready. I would like lay out my
Mhm.
clothes next to my running shoes. So it's like when I wake up, I just put them on and I'm out the door. It's like I don't have to think about it. I don't have to like negotiate with myself. Oh, do I really want to run today? Could I do it later in the day? Blah, 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 blah. Make the successful thing easy. Just like have your environment ready for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I pack my gym bag the night before
Mhm.
every day. Like, that's a non it's not even like a non-negotiable at this point. It's just a habit. Like,
You should do it.
I don't even have to
Mhm.
think about it. It just happens. Like, when I come home, I empty my gym bag, and then I go ahead right then and there, I reload it for the next day. I go ahead and put my gym clothes in there, or my work clothes in there. Like, it's just a habit at this point. It's not even like a non-negotiable for me. I just do it without even having to think about it because 'cause I've been doing it for years.
Yeah. Yeah, those things help so much. I mean, with food, I feel like food is just like the canonical example where like it's so hard to make the right decisions with food when you don't have a plan or when you don't have the things set up so that you can do it. So
Yeah. And
that's
food is
huge.
so good nowadays, dude. I hate it. Dude, food is so good. Like, they make it so good, and it's
I
so
know.
hard, like, not to indulge in things, but there's a lot of healthy options nowadays that taste really good, and there's
Uh-huh.
a lot of recipes online that one for food, but for me, I like sweets. I have a really bad sweet tooth.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of good recipes out there to make some kinda like sweet desserts. The only problem with those is that you have to physically make them. Like, you have to make them. It ain't like you just buy it from the grocery store.
Right, right, right.
That's why it's so hard, like, to not, buy junk from the grocery store because it's so easy to eat it.
It's all right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when my wife's been making these little, I don't even know if you can call them protein balls. They're more like they're oatmeal balls.
Uh-huh.
I guess they call them protein balls. They got peanut butter in them, but they really don't have that much protein in them. But it's like oatmeal, protein, chia seed. I think it has a little honey in it, peanut butter, and you just mix it all up, and it makes like a little protein ball. They're delicious. They're so good.
Mhm,
Um, but it's better than like eating, a Reese's cup. It's
mhm.
it's just better for you. If you eat, 12 of them, probably not very good for you. But she's been making those, man, and I tear them things up. They're so good. But at least they're somewhat healthy for me. They're not. There's not a bunch of extra preservatives and all that kind of junk in it. It was
Yeah.
home. It's made at home, so you know what's in it. Like what ingredients are in it, and you can control that. So it's typically a lot better for you and healthier for you if you can make it yourself than to just buy it pre-made.
Mhm. Yeah, it's interesting when you eat those kinda things too, I kinda mentioned this earlier, but your body, like, naturally knows when it's had enough,
Mhm.
versus if you were to go get, like, Twinkies from the store, you could probably eat, like, way more of them just because your body, again, like, doesn't understand the sugar and the stuff that's in there.
Your body don't even know what that stuff is half the
Yeah,
time. Like, your
no.
body don't even process it. It's like, "We don't know what this is," because it's not natural. So
Uh-uh.
it's kinda crazy to think that, like, some things you don't even digest it really.
What does your dream life look like?
Man, dream life. I don't know, you always say, like, you just wanna be rich and never have to work a day in your life, but I feel like if I didn't have to work, like, I don't it's always like you don't really have a sense of purpose, that gets old after a while. Yeah, it's
Mhm,
cool maybe for, like, a year, and then after a year, you're like, "Alright, I gotta do something." So for me, it would have to be working in fitness somehow. Like, I wanna help people, um, just because I know fitness has done a lot in my life, is impacted me positively. So I wanna be able to, help other people with that. I don't know what that exactly looks like. I just know I wanna do something in fitness. I tried, personal training. I've tried the online coaching thing, and I just don't think necessarily it was for me. Like, I don't think I'm meant to help people in that way. So that's why I like the content. So like, honestly, being like a fitness YouTuber, I know that sounds so cliche, but like that would be like my dream. Like if I
mhm,
could just make videos about fitness all day and help people and make money from it, like that's goals for me. I know that's such like a childish answer nowadays because like every kid wants to be a YouTuber now. But honestly, that would be like dream. If I can make money from working out, like doing what I
mhm,
love to do, like literally training, working out, running, exercising, helping people at the same time, like that would be the ideal, setup for me. That would be my goal. I could literally just because that's what I do already. I already do that. So if I could just get paid to do that,
yeah,
it's a win-win situation. Like I'm already working out, I'm already training, I'm already posting content, but I still work a full-time job. If I didn't have a full-time job, I could post even more content, and help more people. So that would be the goal for me. And travel. I like to travel. So I want to go travel as much as I can. And being able to do, YouTube or content, it allows more opportunities like that to open up. You
mhm,
know, not only can you travel, to work with other creators and things like that, but you also you don't have a 9 to 5 job, so like you can work from anywhere. You can make content anywhere. So that would be an ideal situation for me. I love those little vans. People that do like van life. They
mhm.
buy the Sprinter vans and they put a bed in them. I love those. I'm obsessed with those. I keep telling my wife we should sell our house and buy one of those and just travel. I swear, you can
Yeah,
ask her. I tell her all the time. I'll send them. I'll see videos of them on Instagram and I'll send them to her all the time. I love those things. Like I would love to do that. Maybe I don't know if I would like to do it forever, but like maybe for like a year or like 6 months, just buy one and just leave. Don't have no destination. Just go and just wherever it takes you. Like I think that would be so fun. That would be cool. So I would like stuff like I'm real outdoorsy. I love being outside. I don't like being inside. If I can get outside and do something, I'm gonna do it. Like I love hiking. Hiking's so fun. Me and my wife like to do that a lot. Just going outside for walks. Like I love being, playing sports, like things like that. You ever heard of disc golf? I like playing
oh,
disc
yeah,
golf outside.
mhm.
I do that a lot. So yeah, things like that. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I like what you said about working because I think that's a thing for me too. It's like, "Oh, I wish I didn't have to work," but then I run through the actual scenario, and I'm like, "Okay, if I didn't have a job, like,
You'll get bored.
I'm gonna
You don't
work
have
on
no
something."
purpose.
Yeah. It's like I'm gonna wanna find something to work on. It's just picking what you work on and working on something that is
Especially
fulfilling.
men. I think men especially have to have some kind of like purpose, something to drive towards.
Mhm.
Because if not, you just kind of lack that sense of like pursuit. Like you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
train for, or not train for, but to like to push towards and to work towards, and you just got to have some kind of purpose in your life.
100%. Well, thank you, Murphy. I appreciate you for coming on. Do you want to tell people where they can find you? Find your
Yeah.
stuff?
So social media is Murphy Mac Fit. Pretty much all social medias, and then my podcast is the Fitness Beginner Podcast. So podcast we talk about fitness on a basic level, trying to help people get started and just learn more about the basics of fitness to get you going and try to help you, motivate you, and things like that. So yeah, the Fitness Beginner Podcast. We're on pretty much all podcasting platforms as well as YouTube. So y'all come check us out.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
For sure. Yeah, I think my episode will be out on your podcast when this is out, so you guys can go watch that one.
Yeah, this one, I think yours will go live next week. No.
Perfect.
Next week or the week after that.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Murphy. Bye, everyone.
Yep. You have a good one. Thank you.